Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode number 276 for September the 3rd, 2024. And hope everybody enjoyed the long weekend. I guess it's official. We're moving into fall, aren't we? And of course, as we always say every year, the summer went too fast, although this was a really weird summer for weather. But I think that's the new norm, isn't it? Very hot, dry, forest fires, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, locusts, and the earth opening up and swallowing us all whole. Yeah, just another summer. Okay, let's take a look at what I've been working on in a little detail. You've already seen these if you've seen my vlog this week. And I believe I showed them on Stephen and Walter Live too. And let me just push the right button. If you notice, I hesitate when I go to push my buttons these days to change my scene or my screen. It's because I reorganized the buttons on this little box. And one thing this little box doesn't do is really make it clear what button you are pushing. I mean, you can label them and everything, but the labels are small, the buttons are small, it's hard to see, and yeah. Okay, why did I start talking about that? I don't know. Here's what I've been working on. Week by week, it's a sew-along with Stephanie stitches. It is Stephanie's pattern. It is called Cozy Star Quilt. I'm loving how the blocks are turning out, and this is going to make a really nice winter/Christmas quilt. I have already ordered. I ordered on Saturday actually backing fabric for this that I think is going to be perfect. It comes from a place in Ottawa called Ottawa Valley Fabric. I have never dealt with them before, but they were having a big sale. Thanks, Jan, for enabling me. You know who you are. And yeah, I bought 3 meters of sort of a blue color. Well, it is not sort of. It is a blue color with snowflakes and that kind of thing on it. And I call this sort of a more of a wintry quilt than Christmas, because if you look at the fabric really close, there are indications of the Christmas theme, but they're very, very subtle. And as such, I think just the colors and the design that's in it suggest winter a little bit more so than Christmas. And I think that's a good idea. I think what I'll do with this quilt is I have a fall quilt upstairs on one of my love seats in my family room. And I think maybe this one, as long as it turns out, and I see no reason why it shouldn't, unless I screw it up on Lucy, I think I may, after the fall season, after Thanksgiving kind of a thing, maybe put this one in place of that quilt, because I think it'll look really good there. So yes, I'm enjoying the sew along, and I know there's a lot of people doing this, and we've been sharing our blocks each week on Stephanie's Facebook group, and there are some beautiful color combinations, and it's amazing how blocks take on a different look pending the kind of fabric choices that you make. So yeah, but basically I'm coming to the conclusion, and I know you're going to say, yeah, idiot, you didn't figure this out until now, that you can take one pattern and make different looks simply by swapping out different fabrics. So, you know, fabric choices are important, and I know that, but it's just reinforced as I work on this quilt. Okay, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I needed some new pillow covers for my cushions on my in my rec room on my sectional, and this one I did. This is a Designs by JuJu, and it's an In the Hoop project, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about the pattern later on in today's segment, so I'm not going to say too much more, except that this turned out really well. I am very pleased with it. I'm very pleased with my color choices. Of course, I go towards blues and teals and purples because those are my favorite colors. And I think it looks great. So I need to make another one. But here's my problem. I did this with fat quarters, and I don't have any more fat quarters in that print style. But that's, or color. But that's okay, because I don't have to be all matchy-matchy. The other cushion for this sectional is kind of in the curve. This is one of those sectionals that has a curved piece. It goes around. It's an L shape. And I'll use the same design, but different colors, different fabrics. I'll try to find something that's in my stash that is close to these colors, but it won't be exactly identical. And that's okay. That makes interest, I think, in your decor when things aren't all matchy. But they'll pick up the elements. I mean, if you stand back and you look and go, oh, look, there's those pillow cushions. And then you look at them a little closer and go, oh, wait, but that one is slightly different than that one. Well, that's cool. At least that's the conversation I'm having inside my head right now. So, yeah, I enjoyed making these. They take about a day to make one because you do them in 4 pieces, 4 squares, 4 blocks. And then you have to sew them all together and put on your backing. And I did an envelope backing. I didn't take a picture of the backing fabric, but it's white with black swirly things on it. And in fact, you could flip this cushion around and, well, you'd see the fold though. You know, the envelope fold or whatever they call that, pillow folder. I never know what to call that. And people have told me, and I promptly forget because that's what I do. And yeah. It's nice. I like it. I could sit here and stare at it all day. Well, I better not. Okay. Let us go to what's happening, what's coming up, what's new. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, Wednesdays. Doors open, 9 a.m. Runs till 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there or be square. Okay. All are welcome. Zoom links in the show notes below. We have a good time. Work on whatever you want to work on. Yeah, okay. You know the drill. And we had a pop-up sew day. I had a pop-up sew day on Saturday, this past Saturday. Well attended. We had, at the height, I think we were at around 40 people. It's a come and go kind of thing if you've never been to a pop-up sew day. I always have them on a Saturday. I don't have them every Saturday. I have at least one a month. Lately, I think I've been averaging about 2 a month. Excuse me. And yeah, it's a great time. I enjoy those days. I get a lot done. I get enabled. Other people get enabled because someone shows us something that we think we have to have. So we have to have it. We buy it. Yeah. And yeah, it's great. Now, there has been a movement amongst my sewing people, my sew day peoples on Stephanie and Stephen's sew day and on my pop-up sew. There's a conspiracy happening. Yes. People seem to love pop-up sew days and they want more. So they have browbeaten my friend. Yeah, they did. They they beat up Russ of Quilt Meets World and trying to talk Russ into also doing a sew day. And Russ is going to. And Russ's first sew day, if you haven't seen his video yet, and I strongly suggest you check out Russ's YouTube channel if you've never been there, Quilt Meets World, and it's in the show notes below, the link for it. And Russ is going to do his first sew day on September the 15th. So in a couple of weeks' time. And I'm not sure what the format is that his will take, but he will tell us. But pretty much, I think, the same, a Zoom kind of a thing. I don't know if he's going to do it through YouTube Live or just do straight Zoom. But either way, so you conspired. I'm not upset. No, I'm joking. I am joking. There's plenty of room for lots of sew days on here. And in fact, you'll get a double dose because my next sew day is September the 14th. Links will be in all the show notes of all my programs next week for that. And I just want you to know, I had planned my date before Russ planned his. But no, Russ and I are coordinating our dates too, so we don't conflict with each other. Or conflict. Yeah, I'm having trouble with words today. Words hard. So anyways, yeah. that's going to be a busy weekend. You get a double whammy. Me on this, I'm choking up about it. Me on the Saturday, September the 14th, and Russ on the Sunday, the 15th. So watch for announcements about all of those things and fun, fun, fun. I'm going to be there for definitely, I'll be definitely there to support my friend Russ and to have a good time. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of other events, I have been asked by two local guilds, to speak at one of their guild meetings. I don't think these are going to happen until in the spring, and I'm working now on my plans for what I'm going to be talking about. But I mean, that came out of the blue. And I think I already talked a little bit about this on Stephen and Walter Live and on my vlog, but I'm just in kind of shock that anybody would reach out to me to become a speaker. Yeah, I don't consider myself, and you know this, I don't consider myself an expert in what I do. I do quilting because it's fun. I make a ton of mistakes, like yesterday, but that's for next week to tell you about that one. But anyways, I'm very flattered. Now, I'm going to be very real about this. And I'm not doing this for sympathy or anything like that. But here's the thing. Yes, I am very flattered to be asked by two different guilds to speak at one of their meetings. However, I know how it works. I used to belong to a guild, and I used to be on the executive, and I know what the activity person or programming person goes through. It's their job to locate speakers, to negotiate what that speaker is going to charge them, to make sure it works into their budget, because guilds don't have a huge budget for speakers, and to coordinate it all, timing, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and you know, if you're on a limited budget as a group and you're looking for speakers, well, you know, you're not going to get the Jenny Dones of the world, or the, you know, Donna Jordans or the Angela Walters. You know, that's not going to happen if you're a small guild, because you can't afford them unless they do it for nothing. And so, you know, there's only so many speakers out there that you can afford to get. So then you start scraping the bottom of the barrel. And I came up. Yes. There I am. They're probably figuring, well, he's an idiot. He probably doesn't charge a lot. And they're right about that, because I'm not charging them. I'm not. I know people have told me that I've talked to on the Sew Day and everything that I should charge, that I'm setting a dangerous precedent. Other people will be contacting me and they'll expect to get it for nothing as well. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't think I'll ever get contacted again once they hear me speak. You know, kind of a thing. But yeah, the reality is that I'm not a big name, not even close, and they had spots they needed to fill. So they figured, well, what the hell? But I'm choosing to feel flattered by it. I am. And I'm excited about doing it as well. I mean, I don't have a problem getting up in front of a large group of people and speaking. Listen to me, a large group of people. 10, probably. I don't know. I don't know how big these guilds are. But, yeah, we'll see. But anyways, I will let you know I am working on my presentation as we speak. And even though these aren't going to happen until about February and March of 2025, I like to be well planned ahead. Besides, I'm a busy person. I have other things I am doing as well. Okay, so moving on to demos, reviews, sewalong thoughts. Clean up and reorganizing of the Lucy room. Yes, I finally did it. Now, it didn't work out the way I had envisioned in my head. In my head, I'd gut the whole room. I'd lay down a nice floor. I'd enclose the ceiling, close the walls so you can't see the the joists in the rafters, put in cupboard system, uh, put in a kitchenette, and a jacuzzi. No, not quite that extreme. But the major thing I did was clean it up, meaning I had a whole lot of stuff out there that was sitting around for storage. I got rid of 6 boxes of crafting books that were on those shelves. Now, back when I first got into quilting and decided to change this room from my crafting room into my sewing room, I did a major purge, and I got rid of a lot of my paper crafting and scrapbooking supplies at the time. I held back some things, and I held back some of the books that I used as resources. I have not opened any of those books since I redid this room like 3-4 years ago. Because I don't do paper crafting anymore. And books are, and I'm sorry to say it, but books are getting to the point where they are a relic of the past. They're becoming almost obsolete because we go to electronic sources for information. The internet. And I don't know about you, but I have an electronic reader, and I absolutely love my electronic reader. And I never ever thought I'd be the person that would say that, because I loved the feel of a book, of the pages, the cover, everything like that. To me, owning a book was a prized possession. I have hardly no books in this house anymore. Now, this is coming from somebody who used to teach English, and I had literally every room in the house had books in it. Okay? My fabric shelf that you see behind me where my design wall is at the moment, that was packed with books. Now it's packed with fabric. You evolve. So, I had a lot of these in the shelves, and they were taking up valuable real estate in terms of storage. So off they went to Value Village. Then I had paints. And these were also left over from my crafting days. And there was all kinds of paints that had never, ever been opened and are still good. Sorry about the clearing my throat thing. That's rude. So I went through all of those. I checked to make sure they were still usable. And in a lot of cases, they had never been opened. And I organized them all together. And I phoned up the local elementary school and said, hey, I have art supplies. Would you like them? And the secretary says, oh, yes. So down I trundled with my boxes. And it's not far away. It's only about 4 blocks. And yep. She was really happy. I even threw in a box full of scrapbook paper pads and packages of colored construction paper, or cardstock actually, that I'd never ever opened or used. Because somebody should use it. It's not doing any good still in its wrapper sitting on my shelves. So, cleaned it all up, reorganized a few things, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to put in a little video clip that I made. So I've been telling you that I have a lot of plans for cleaning up Lucy room, and I keep putting it off and putting it off. Well, yesterday I got a real spurt of energy. I think I was avoiding putting something on Lucy and quilting it, and I decided it is time to clean this room up. Now, this may not seem cleaned up to you, and I am not done yet, but I just want to point out a few things, and I wish I had turned around and taken a before video of all of this. Over here on these tables, I had this piled high with batting, bags, and other things. Right now, it's a placeholder for some of these cardboard boxes that I bought yesterday for packing up some of the stuff that's on the shelves that I was getting rid of. But now I've got it pretty much cleaned up, and so I have a little bit more space, probably for more quilts. My quilts are kept down in these big bags underneath, and I have them all labeled as to what type of quilts are in them. And the batting that used to be in here, it's all in these big bags. And these bags now, I cleaned out a lot of these plastic shelving units that I had under here. I went through them and I threw out a lot of stuff. It was just junk and garbage. I found scraps of fabric. I know people are going to scream at me, you threw out scraps. Yes, I did. They've been sitting in these boxes for literally years, and I have never used them. Quite frankly, they're out of sight, out of mind. I just got rid of them. Sorry, kill me, I don't know. But anyways, these bags fit under here, and so does my travel bag for my sewing machine. So it's under here, tucked out of the way. Now this presents me with a problem, and I may or may not do this. I was talking about buying Alex units, and I'd clean out the rest of these drawers here, and I'll talk about these drawers in a minute and why they're still here. And I would put Alex units under here because the low Alex units with the wider drawers will fit under here, and they give me more storage space and it would look very nice. However, I don't know if I would do that because then I don't have any place to put my batting, but maybe I could put the batting in the Alex drawers. I don't know. So for now, we're just leaving it. We're putting that idea on hold. Walter's probably very happy because he is my IKEA assembler for, some assembly required. And we'll see how this all works out. But over here, I went through all of these drawers that had cutoffs from my backing fabric, and they were just thrown in these drawers, and I had a pile of backing fabric all piled up here on these tables. Well, now all of my backing fabric is in these drawers. The cutoffs, these are full 3-meter pieces. I folded them so I can see exactly what I have in each of these drawers. And the cutoffs, I folded up, and they're in another cupboard in my sewing room because I found a space for that. I have these pantographs. These are paper pantographs. And when I first got Lucy, I was doing paper pantographs, and I stocked up on them. You can see some of them have never been opened. I really don't know what to do with them. I don't want to throw them away because I spent money on them, for one thing. And who knows, I might attempt that kind of quilting. No, who am I kidding? I've got a computer on Lucy. I'm never going to do a paper pantograph again. So maybe somewhere down the road, somebody I know will get a long arm and they'll want them. And I'll just give those to them, to those people. More backing fabric. Now, this is my electronics drawer. These are all my extension cords. They were sitting in a great big blue bin on top of these tables, and it just looked like a mess. And so I was able to, after I cleaned out a bunch of the bins that were here, to have room to put all of those in. But as I said, if I was to get the Alex units, then all of these are going to go. What's in these drawers would go in the Alex units. It would look very nice. But I'm still not sure if I want to go that route or not. We'll see. So meanwhile, I will have, once I get these boxes moved away, here, there'll be more area here. And I really don't want to put anything on these tables. I want this as a work bench kind of a thing when I'm out here working with Lucy. You always need some spot to put things. Now, these boxes that are marked Georgia Retreat, that's what they're for. And these will eventually disappear. Now, I'm hoping that it's same with these ones that are on here, these brown boxes. When I clean out this area, and what is this area hidden here behind this quilt? These are all leftover quilting supplies, or not quilting, crafting supplies, glues and mediums and stuff like that, and paint. That's my next task today. I'm going to go in here, clean this all out, and a lot of this stuff is going to go in the garbage because it's probably dried up, and most of it is probably, and that which isn't dried up that I think could be used by the kids at the elementary school that's in my area, I'm going to donate it there if they want it. So that's the next big task, is cleaning all of this stuff out of here. And then that'll give me some shelf space, and at least these brown boxes can go on those shelves. And maybe some of this other stuff I have up here too. These are my 3D prints. I went through all my 3D prints that have been piling up, and I threw out a lot of them. They were things I made that were experiments or just useless. On the top shelf, that's my different seasonal holiday decor. Up there, my Easter, my Halloween, my fall. And then the rest of this stuff are the prints that I did keep. And as I said, I may want to move them over if I find space on these other shelves over there. Here are all the things that I use for my long arm. They're all on this shelf here. I have them labeled. And before, those were all sitting over here where you see all these empty baskets and everything. That's temporary. I haven't gotten rid of these baskets yet. I don't like to throw out baskets. They're always handy, but you know, storage is a problem. So they're still sitting over here on these two little tables, which is where all the long arm stuff used to be. And as I clean out this shelf again, everything's key on this, cleaning the shelf out, or the shelving unit. Then I may need some of these baskets for storage on those shelves, and the rest of them I will find a different home for because I really don't want the clutter. Shelf above that, I'm not touching that. That's electronics. That's basically the hub of our internet system here in the house. So yeah, not going to do anything with that. I may clean up my threads a little bit. I like having them out there on display. But I have a few extra spools up there, and I found a whole bunch of the glide boxes, so I can put some of those in the glide boxes and put them up there as well. Then I just realized those heartfelt boxes, which are left over again from my days as a crafter, they've got to go. They're nice boxes, but they got to go. They're taking up valuable shelf space, and that little thing above it, the 3D printed paper bag, and the umbrellas. The umbrellas I might keep. Yeah, those I'm not going to get rid of. They're in the hoop, freestanding applique kind of things. But yeah, the other thing I got to get rid of. I need the space. So if it doesn't breathe, it's moving. Okay, so thought I'd bring you up to speed with what I was doing yesterday in here. Now I'm going to work on the rest of it, and I will take a video of when I have the rest of it completed. I have finished cleaning up, and I got rid of a lot more stuff, especially from over on this shelf behind the kitty. I've got a pile of stuff that's going to the dump because it's dried up chemicals and whatever, so I'll put it in the toxic waste part of the dump. And then I saved a few essential things like glues and other equipment for myself here. I moved over these boxes that are going to the Delonican retreat at Christmas time, and here's a place now for my extra baskets, so I didn't have to get rid of any of those. This whole area has been cleaned up now. This I will use if I need to put something here. I just need a little work area. In some ways, I'd like to just collapse that, not have anything there, but it may come in handy. We'll see. I was able to make more shelf space when I got rid of those boxes, which I promptly filled up. I've got like one cubby hole left. I have lots of counter space now with these tables. My quilts are all stored underneath. I don't know how long that's going to work out for me. And all of my stuff I need for my long arm is here on this shelf. And of course I have all my 3D prints and my holiday 3D prints all up on the shelves as well. So room looks a little bit tidier, not quite as messy. I cleaned up some of my threads at the top, put them in boxes because they don't need to be out. And yeah, for now it will do. Ideally, what I'd love to do is got the room, built-in shelves on that side for fabric and everything, Alex units down here, a nice floor would be great. More shelving here, like cupboards across here instead. Yeah, that's a major renovation, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I thought you'd like to see what I've done. At least it's neatened up and tidy, and I got rid of a lot of stuff that's been sitting around for years that I do no longer need. So I think I may have mentioned it in that video. I was thinking about getting some Alex drawer units to go underneath Lucy and to replace what's left of those plastic utility, what do you want to call them, boxes that I've been using. But I did some measurements, I did some more research, and I don't think they'll fit my purposes. My purpose is to be able to store my wide back fabrics in them. And the drawers are not very deep. So, you know, they cost about $150 a pop, and I was going to, originally I measured I could get 3 of them under there, but I'm thinking now, no, I'm just going to let that rest for a while. I'd still like to go over to IKEA and just take a look at other things that they have. I mean, I've been looking at their stuff online, but it's not quite the same as actually getting over there with your tape measure and looking at the stuff. So I don't know if I will. But for now, it's nice and neat. It's cleaned up. I've got rid of all kinds of stuff, and I have room for more stuff. And yeah, because you know what happens. Um, empty space is a void, and nature does not like a void. It likes to fill things up, or at least I'm nature and I like to fill things up. So, but right now I'm very happy that was kind of hanging over my head. You know, I've been saying I'm going to do this for a while, and I finally did. Okay, so another interesting little thing, and I made a little video clip explaining this, but there is a place that sells fabric by the centimeter, and I don't think that's right. Here's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I just discovered something very interesting today. This company, which is Canadian called Trapunto, look at their prices. They're unbelievable. 20 cents Canadian. Is that for a meter? No. That's 20 cents a centimeter. Can you believe it? Like, why would a company actually put their fabric in that? And you don't know that until you get here to check out. So let's add one to the cart. And now let's check my cart. And it says 2. Oh yeah, here it is. Here. All yardage is sold by the centimeter. The minimum cut for online orders is 25 centimeters or 10 inches. Any order with less than this amount will be canceled and refunded. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And this makes me not want to buy from this particular company. Because why would you list it that way? First of all, if you're math challenged, this might be tricky. Second of all, they're sucking you in. That's what it is. 20 cents, what you think is 20 cents a meter at first glance, is just sucking you in. And if you didn't pull down that little bar right here, you would probably fill your cart with all kinds of fabric and get to the checkout, and then hopefully you would realize that you're ordering it by the centimeter, not by, meterage. I think that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I have never seen a store like this before. Now, I'm not even sure where this store is located. Let's see. They do have a physical store. It's in Edmonton. In Edmonton. Really? Never. I don't know what they're doing. I'm completely mystified.
Now, since I made that video clip, I have found out there are a few other places here in Canada that do the same thing. Don't know why. Just makes me a little iffy about buying from companies like that, because are they trying to suck you in by selling something in centimeters, but not necessarily your first reaction is, ooh, this is a really cheap price. It must be a meter. You don't realize it's by a centimeter. Although 20 cents a meter, yeah, that might be a clue that things aren't quite right there. But to me, why? Yeah, we're in Canada, we're on metric, but why? Nobody buys this much fabric. I don't know. I know some people who do collage quilting like having, to be able to just get little pieces with that. But vast majority of us, no. But whatever. I just thought I'd point that out to you. Okay. Another thing that I want to point out to you is, and this came up in discussion on last Wednesday's Sewing with Stephen and Stephanie, or Stephanie and Stephen, whichever you prefer. Check your orders. When you buy fabric online and it comes to you and say you order like 2 or 3 meters or something, I know I don't really check it. I get it out of the package and I fold it up for storage on a shelf. I don't measure it. Well, one of my friends on the Wednesday Sew Days said she got ripped off. And she got ripped off from a store that I have talked about on here. I'm not going to mention it right now because I think it was a mistake. But anyway, she contacted them. They had an excuse for that. I think the excuse was weak. I really do. But they made it right, or they were supposed to make it right. So they told her, just hang on to that, keep it, and we'll send you, the right amount. And they ended up sending her the wrong fabric. So that is very unlike this particular quilt store, and very out of character, I think. And maybe they've got a new employee. I don't know. That's screwing up. Whatever. But it just makes you think too. Yeah, you should really check your order when they come in. I don't. Well, beyond the fact that, yeah, I ordered this. I ordered this colorway, this colorway, this colorway. Bang. Yep, they're there. Okay, fine. But I don't actually take them, unfold them, and measure them to make sure I got the right quantity. And I'm not saying that companies sent you the wrong one. They're trying to rip you off. Mistakes happen. But it could be a really crucial mistake. Like if you ordered 2 meters of something and you got 1.5 meters, but you needed 2 meters, well, you may not realize you don't have those 2 meters until it comes down to the point where you go, ew, I don't have enough of this fabric to finish this project. And then that means, yeah, you're scrambling, trying to locate that fabric again, and not always can you. So buyer beware. Okay, subscribers quilt of the week. This one comes from Sherry Jones, and we've seen some of her beautiful creations before. Here's another one. This week's quilt comes from Sherry Jones, and we've seen Sherry Jones's quilts before. In fact, Sherry sent me a whole bunch of different pictures of her quilts some time ago, and I've kept them in reserve for when I'm down with other quilts. Not that her quilts are something that should be put in the back burner, as this one proves. They really need to be put to the forefront, but this is a beautiful, beautiful quilt. I love it. I love the colors in it, and I love the quilting, and I love what the detail in the border that she has put in there as well. It's just absolutely lovely. It is called Blaze a Trail, and it's by Pat Speth. Speth, I think is how you say her name, Speth. But this is a very, very gorgeous quilt. I can't keep my eyes off it, really. Yeah, what more can I say about it? I think it speaks for itself. So thank you, Sherry, for sending that one along. It's gorgeous. Now, the YouTube video this week is one by a friend of mine, Sean, from The Guy Who Sews, and he did a short little video showing you how to fold fat quarters like a pro. And it's a simple thing, but I think this is a really cool way of storing your fat quarters. This week's YouTube clip comes from my friend Sean from The Guy Who Sews, and he shows us very quickly a very efficient and cool way to fold fat quarters. Now, I don't know about you, but when I buy fat quarters and they come the way that they're folded in the store, they are very awkward to store. They just don't seem to fit into any of my plastic containers in the way that they come folded from the store or in my drawers. But this method that Sean is showing on for folding your fat quarters does allow them to fit in both of those scenarios in my sewing room. So if you want to learn how to fold your fat quarters efficiently and so that you can tell what you've got at a glance, then you're going to want to check out Sean's video, Fold Fat Quarters Like a Pro. Now, at the top of the show, I showed you my pillow, and that pattern is called Eloise pillow. It's by designs by JuJu. It is in the hoop project, so it's an in the hoop machine embroidery project, and it's a great pattern. I love designs by JuJu. They have a lot of great patterns out there, and they're a little bit different than what other people may sell online, which is good. It's good to have choice. So here's a little bit more about that particular pattern. This week's future project is a pillow cover. And everybody needs pillow covers at some point in time. If you're trying to freshen up your decor, it's always very easy and less expensive just to change out the covers on your pillows. And that's what I intend to do with my cushions that are in my rec room. They're getting a little ratty looking. They've been used for quite a while, and it's time to do something new. So I saw this design, and I thought this is one that's very adaptable to any decor, depending on the color wave in the fabric that you use for this. And they actually show you down here one that's been done in that design as well. So actually, I think that's a table runner. I think they made that into a table runner, or actually a, what do you call it? A table topper. That's the words I'm looking for. So kind of versatile. It's a 2-4 in this particular pattern. And I really actually quite like that table topper version of the cushion. I think put several of those together, you'd make a nice table runner as well. So a lot here you can do for the price. This is an in the hoop project. It is for your embroidery machine, and it is designed by JuJu, and I've put the link in the show notes below. It comes in various sizes, and right now it happens to be on sale for half price, 50% off. And designs by JuJu and all the major embroidery sites always have sales all the time. So check them out. If you see something that's on for a really good price, even though you might not be wanting to work on it right immediately, it's good to get it when it's on sale. I can do a lot of shopping online. So right now I'm being an enabler for you. Now, I am not affiliated with Designs by JuJu, so don't worry, I do not get any kickback on this, but I always find their in the hoop designs very easy to follow, and the results are always good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this and freshening up my decor with some new pillow covers. So the online store this week is called Kismet Quilts. I never heard of this one before, so here's my review of it. This week's online quilt store is called Kismet Quilts, and they are located in Alberni, BC. And they ship all across Canada. And let's just check out their front page. They have classes, some of their fabric companies, major ones, of course, a little bit about them, and then some of their newer prints. And it looks like they're featuring the new Christmas prints that have come out, which is nice. And then where they're located. So let's pop right into their fabric selections and see how this is organized, first of all. So it's organized by shop basics, prints, batiks, flannel, backings, pre-cuts and panels, color, designer, and collection. Okay, let's jump into by designer. And they have a lot here. Yeah, these are ones that I'm bad for following a designer because I never know who they are. I never remember a name. So I'm not going to search by that. I'm going to shop by prints. And we've got Christmas dots and stripes, novelty, geometric, kids, florals, plaid. Okay, let's try the Christmas because I'm kind of in the mood for that. And what do they have? They have Dr. Seuss. They have some panels. They have some bundles. Yeah, a lot of pre-cuts. Here are some meterage. Okay. Some of these are kind of interesting. The browns. You know, I don't think of brown when I think of Christmas, and they have 7 pages of these. And they show you, they have them organized according to designer or brand, and they have 197 Christmas ones to choose from. So let's pick on something like this, $22.99. I'm assuming that's by the meter. It is. They do have their products in meter. That's on the upper end of the scale, so you're basically talking $23 Canadian per meter. Yeah, let's take a look at what else they might have. Well, they have basics. And again, not a real fan of how this is organized, but I guess if you go off here to the side, you'll find what you want. Kona, $14.95 a meter. That's an okay price for Kona for solids. What else? Let's do batiks. What are their prices on batiks? They have 115 to choose from. Well, these are kind of nice. I like this pattern. $23.99. So batiks are expensive. $24 a meter. But batiks are always a little bit more. And they have quite a few to choose from here, 115. And let's see. Let's check out backings. Cotton, flannel. Okay, let's go for cotton. $34.99, $38.50. That is pretty high. That is really high for well, they have some at $26.95 as well. Yeah, wide backs. Seems that the average price is $26.95, so $27 a meter. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these ones before. Nothing here stands out as really different. Anything else? They do have kits. Well, let's check out the pre-cuts first in panels. 10-inch squares, strips, 5-inch squares, fat quarters. Let's check out the fat quarters. And what do they got? They have about 27 fat quarter bundles to choose from. Price-wise, I think they're a little on the high side. Maybe not. I suppose it depends. A lot of sold out ones. Okay. Let's just go back and let's check out charm packs. They only have 6 to choose from, so not much of a selection there. Price-wise, yeah, it's all over the place. Looks a little pricey. Okay, and let's check out their strips, their jelly rolls. They have 15 to choose from. Some Christmas ones. Yeah, the jelly rolls are a little high in price as well. So overall, looking at their fabric prices, they don't have a bad selection in some areas, but they are a little bit on the higher end. So this would also determine what they're charging for shipping. And they say that on orders over $149 in Canada, it's free. Well, it wouldn't take you long to get to $149. Let's see what else can I find on their shipping policy. Here we go. And they ship by Canada Post, of course, and it looks like if it's under $149, they charge $20 for shipping, and after that, it's free. And they do ship to the United States. It's a flat rate of $25. Okay, well, shipping price, that's not really bad. But as I always say, if you're going to take advantage of some place that's on the other side of the country, you might as well order the amount that you get free shipping on. And looking at their prices, that wouldn't be hard to do. Okay, let's look at what else do they have here. Sale. They gotta have a sale. Always love a sale. 25, 50%, 70% off. Okay, let's just bite here. What do they got for 70% off? Yeah, you can see pretty much, in my opinion, why this is 70% off. Although that panel's kind of cute, but still, yeah. Okay, let's go back in and see what they have on sale for 50% off. Disappointing. That's interesting. Shawl dancers. But the rest of this is not my color palette. They're a little washed out. Although some people love, love that kind of look. So it's just not for me, that pastel-y kind of look. And let's check their last category, which is 25% off. A few blenders. Yeah, nothing really to write home about. Okay, classes. They have a Wednesday sit and sew, Scrappy Saturday, the first Saturday of every month, $9.95 per bag. So what does this involve? It's an all-day thing, so I guess you're using the scraps. And it says they're not your run-of-the-mill tiny scraps, trimmings, lost socks, and forgotten dryer sheets. These are premium quality chunks of fabric. At the risk of initiating a frenzy, the event will be first come, first serve. We thought of taking appointments and reservations, but logistics were overwhelming, so we decided to let natural selection sort it out. Well, they're kind of funny. The standard crowd behavior rules apply. Profanity, threats, or insults will not be tolerated. A referee will be on duty, and the standard 2-minute penalties will be assessed for elbowing, roughing, and head-bounding. Tugs of war will be adjudicated as Solomon would have. The fabric in question will be cut in half and shared. That's kind of funny. Scrappy Saturdays will run the first Saturday of every month until we run out of scraps or an injunction shuts the whole thing down. Okay, so it's free to come. So I guess it's not a class. It looks like they just have a big pile of scraps and you pick through the scraps and take what you want for, what was it, about $10. Okay. Personally, I don't need other people's garbage, but some people enjoy that kind of thing. I make my own scraps. It's not hard, as we all know. Okay, so what else do they have in classes? Beginning quilting, learning basics. Okay, but they really don't have that much to choose from in classes. Okay. So let's go to long arm. There you go. They do long arming, and they have the rates all made out for you, and books and patterns. Let's check out patterns. They have about 300 patterns, so good selection of patterns, and it looks pretty much like some of these patterns seem a little pricey. Now, some of them are specialty, but yeah, I don't like this one. $24.95 for Twisted Log Cabin Poinsettia table runner. That seems just a little much. I could be wrong. It's kind of neat though, isn't it? Printed paper pattern. It's paper piecing, standard machine sewing. Oh, okay. Paper down. All right, so yeah, it's got templates in it, so that may be why it's a little bit more on the pricey end. So you'd have to look like there's more like that kind of pattern, the town square pattern, $9.95, and it looks like they have ones by Bags by Annie here too. Those are about what you'd expect to pay. So I guess it was just because the one has templates that it caught my attention. And they have books as well. Now Notion's probably your usual kind of thing. Cutting tools, yeah, and rulers. And those look like about the standard prices for Notions. I find that on most of these websites, Notions don't really vary in price. They're all in about the same. So, anything else? They have a blog as well. So that's Kismet Quilts. They don't have a bad selection of fabric, but as I said before, they are a little bit on the pricey side. But their shipping doesn't seem unreasonable. And as I said, $149 above that, free shipping. And, it doesn't take long to spend $149. So you could take advantage of that. Okay, Kismet Quilts. You might want to check it out. So that brings me to the end of this episode of The Idiot Quilter, but something that's coming up very soon. Retreat. The retreat, the Idiot Quilter Fall 2024 retreat, is going to take place on Saturday, October the 19th. Yes, I gotta think about that for a minute. And all the details about that will be coming out next week, like what's involved, how you register. It is a free event, but you do have to register to reserve your spot. All of that's coming out in a video. next Monday around 9 a.m. So watch for that. And it will tell you everything you need to know about what I have planned for this retreat this time. Okay, so that's it for me today. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.